Unfortunately, I don't know how to share.
If you go to the returnees page, you can see it on the returnees page.
Mira, why don't you share? Maybe you can share and tag me.
Okay, I'll send it to you on WhatsApp or inbox. Okay,
Okay.
just send it to your inbox. Right. Let's get the music going. And
When she said you look for me. Oh, when she said you look for me. She look for me. She look for me. Oh, she look for me. She look for me. I'm looking the way you do it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello from Germany, and welcome. 7 p.m. every day in Germany, 6 p.m. in Cameroon. We meet for a series of interviews. We talk to amazing people around the world in different domains. The world is undergoing a pandemic. The coronavirus is keeping people in a lockdown. But during the lockdown, we want to be productive. We want to be progressive. We want to be constructive in very, very different ways. The wives, the moms, the husbands, the men, the children, we all come together during this period to bond as a family. And today with me, ladies and gentlemen, after leaving Canada, Luxembourg, France, UK, etc., we are in Douala, in Cameroon, my home country. And I'm welcoming someone on the show who is going to tell me a little bit more about dieting as a lifestyle. Welcome with me, Juliet Asaba. Hello, Juliet.
Hello, Mira.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank
Good, good. So I was just explaining to the guests that you are in Douala, and we understand sometimes the network is
you. And
on.
you?
Yeah, no, I'm great. I'm great. I'm just saying if the network gets unstable, we know you're gonna reconnect. So don't let that bother you. Just keep reconnecting if the network is unstable, okay? So in Douala today, it's very hot, but you have to be indoors as well. Have you been able to respect the measures of the WHO to stay indoors, or do you have to go out for certain reasons?
Well, I'm actually at home. I only go out when I need to get some groceries. I really don't go out. So I'm trying my best to respect all the measures that have been put in place by WHO and by my company. And,
Right. Right.
I'm just
Now,
trying
now,
to keep
very
myself.
good, very good. You're respecting the measures put in place and you've not been going out unless you have to. Has work in any way made you have to go out or are you able to work from home?
Well, I I had like a day
Mm-hmm.
to prepare for the lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just basically tried to get my things in a way that I would be able to work from home. So I haven't
Right.
really had like need to go out. I've gone to the office maybe once or twice, but
Mm-hmm.
if I've gone out, it's just for maybe groceries, just for basic things,
That's
that
great.
I need.
That's great. You're privileged to be able to go home. But before we carry on deeply into the interview, could you introduce to the viewers who you are, what you do, your passion, your profession?
Okay, I am Juliet Asaba, married, have one kid, and I'm an environmentalist by profession, and I have a passion for dieting. That's why today we're going to be talking about dieting.
Yes.
And I love good music. I love listening and dancing.
Right,
So,
right. So what is an
yeah.
that's what we started anyway, effectively with Charlotte the Panda Sister. That was your request. One of my favorite songs as well. So that was a good way to start. Now you mentioned an environmentalist. What does an environmentalist do? What is your profession like? What are you responsible for?
Well, basically, as an environmentalist for any company, you're responsible for either implementing an environmental management plan, or you're
Mm-hmm.
responsible for, let's say, ensuring that the activities of your company do not impact negatively
Mm-hmm.
on the environment, be it the physical environment, the biophysical environment, or the social environment. So
Right,
it's kind
right.
of, yeah, interlinked. And apart from that, as an environmentalist, you need to ensure that your wastes are
Mm-hmm.
properly managed, they are properly segregated, and there's a lot of accountability as well for our company. We need to write reports, comply with local and international norms on environmental protection as well.
Mhm.
So
Right, right,
basically, I'm just trying to ensure that the company respects all the norms
right.
and the local laws that have been set aside for
Mhm.
environmental management within
Okay.
our industry.
Right. Now I'm thinking when you mention all that, I'm thinking when we were in school, when we were young, in the class we had just one dustbin, let me put it that way. But I noticed from my son, he's 8 years old, in his class there were about three bins. You know where the plastic goes, you know where the waste as in food, rest of your food, like degradable, biodegradable food goes and so on. Do you have that system in Cameroon like to separate waste, like from when you have to dump?
Well, it's not. I wouldn't really say that in Cameroon it doesn't exist, because there are so many companies that are responsible for different waste streams. For
Mm-hmm.
example, you have companies that deal just with hazardous waste. You have
Mm-hmm.
companies that deal just with medical waste, plastic waste,
Mm-hmm.
and food
Yeah.
waste. So it's slowly getting into our culture. It's not really our thing, but with lots of sensitization, and people are trying to increasingly becoming aware of how environmental issues and how waste need to be managed in Cameroon.
Right. So at least slowly people are also picking that up. That's great. So today we'll be talking about healthy eating as a lifestyle, right? And the types of diets you'll be talking about. And we know you wrote a book or at least a manuscript on a guide to dieting. We'll talk more about that later on. But when I think of a balanced diet, Julie, what is a balanced diet and what are the different types of diets you could describe?
Well, a balanced diet is basically any diet that gives you all the nutrients that your body needs, you know. So you know that your body needs protein, your body needs fat, your body needs carbs. So a balanced diet gives you the all the nutrients that you require for proper functioning.
Mhm.
You know that a human being is like a car. If you don't fuel your car, if you don't do oil change when you're supposed to do it, the engine is probably going to knock down. So that's how we function. So
Right.
that's basically how a balanced diet, that's what a balanced diet actually does. It
Okay, you
fuels
have
you.
greetings. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Helps you with the right. And I was just saying we have greetings from Alice Michelle. She's currently in Italy, and she says hi, Juliet. Hi, Mira. We also have greetings from
Hi.
Elise Matthew, hi, who says welcome on board, ladies. Hello and greetings. So as we
Hello.
carry on through the interview, people will be extending greetings, and they might be asking questions as well. But on the other hand, to carry on with the question session, is there a particular diet for different types of age groups? What would you recommend? How should our diet be structured, so to speak?
Well, Generally, when I am given this kind of opportunity or when I want to talk about diets, I usually don't prescribe because I'm not really a dietitian by profession. It's just
Mhm.
something that I have a passion for. But
Right.
I generally ask people what they do and what they eat. Because, for example, I can't start talking to Mira about what she should eat without knowing Mira
Yeah.
about Mira's lifestyle. I don't know
Hmm.
if you exercise, I don't know what you eat, I don't know if what you eat is not the right food for you. So I
Right.
can't really, it's not really a one size fit all. But you'd want to maybe say that for kids, they are free to get as much calories as possible because you know that they'll subsequently burn them out. But for somebody who has a sedentary lifestyle, you wouldn't
Hmm.
want a diet that is, based on carbs. You'd advise them to go for maybe veggies and
Hmm.
fruits, And then for older people, maybe things that are maybe less oil, less fats, so it's
Hmm.
not really like a one size fit all, and
Right.
it usually depends on the individual. So
Hmm.
there's really, I can't say that there's really a specific diet that is prescribed for a specific age group.
Hmm.
Generally, there are
Hmm.
things that we should eat: fruits, vegetables, high fiber,
Hmm.
lots and lots of fibers, and is recommended for all age groups. And sugars are not really good, especially artificial sugars,
Hmm.
especially those things that you buy every day that which have the label no sugar. Just you don't want to go for those kind of things because there's usually a catch somewhere, you
Right.
know.
Right.
Mm.
Okay, so avoid sugars in general. When you mention the avoid sugars, makes me think of Leah Asanji in Canada. She just goes for a month, just like nothing with sugar. And at the end of the day, she really gets a very clean system and so on. So what you're trying to say with your message is this should be more like a lifestyle, you're saying, right? Not wait for the coronavirus to hit our doors and then we start trying now to eat healthy and all that. But it's not that easy to put up a lifestyle for healthy eating. What do you suggest? What does it take to set this as a lifestyle, healthy eating as a lifestyle? What does it take mentally?
Mentally, well, it takes a lot. I can say it takes a lot of readiness because, excuse me, you can't just. It's not like walking to see a medical doctor and getting a prescription. It's like making a conscious effort and telling yourself, okay, I'm stopping, I'm
Mm-hmm,
going to change my way
mm-hmm.
of eating. And it's not generally advisable for it to be abrupt because when you do it
Right.
abruptly, you know what happens. When you
Yeah, you could
stop,
get the yo-yo effect,
you
right?
get the yo-yo effect exactly. So
Right.
it's always good to say, okay, maybe you give yourself targets. You say, for this week, I'm going to start by reducing my food intake.
Mm-hmm,
Once
mm-hmm,
you're comfortable with reducing your portions, you
mm-hmm.
can then proceed by reducing, you know, eliminating some certain elements of your diet. Because, like I was saying, it's not really a one size fit all. Your
Mm-hmm.
diet may be high, rich in protein, and not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily fats or carbs.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Right.
might want to, rethink. But once you start by reducing your food intake, it helps your body to heal itself. It helps you to start, preparing mentally, okay, and it helps you to it gives you a boost to the diet. I wouldn't advise anyone to just get up one morning and say I'm going on a diet. No, I'd always advise people to do it gradually, and once you do it gradually, you sort of become obsessed with it, and you don't want to stop. Trust me.
Right. So I believe you start seeing the results as well, right? You start being, like patients, a time guy is saying you make a conscious effort, you do it slowly. And when you said that, she said, perfect. Yeah. The moment you do it gradually, you get used to it, you make it as a lifestyle, then you won't want to stop because you start seeing results. You start feeling good in your skin, you start losing weight and everybody's like, you look great. And you're like, okay, I'm not going to stop this anymore. So we have Crystal also watching all the way from Cameroon who sends greetings, right? And then Cheryl asked why not, but Cheryl, Juliet was explaining, don't start too abruptly. You have to set your mind to it, prepare your mind for it, and then gradually start, the process of, losing weight or eating healthy, let's put it that way. And when you start getting the results, it's easier now to slide into the dieting. Now, you mentioned, Cheryl was actually asking a question here. Cheryl asked, what if I eat healthy and I'm active, what will you advise? Sherry, you will have to rephrase your question again in relation
I
to
really,
eating healthy or being active. Just she'll have to rephrase her question so we can understand it better. But I have another question for you, Juliet. Now you've mentioned
yes.
that, I'm thinking about sports people, right? Sports people need to follow a very strict regimen of what they eat, when they eat, etc. What do you think a sports person now, be it a man or a woman, does differently from you and I that keeps them in such good shape?
Well, generally, people who do lots of exercise need to have energy,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and because they burn lots of calories that need to be replaced.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, we talked about the definition of a good diet is the diet that provides all the nourishments that your body needs. And
Exactly.
for people who burn lots of calories, who lose lots of vital nutrients, they need to
Mm-hmm.
replenish all of that. So it's usually good for us all, not necessarily even if you're not a sports person,
Mm-hmm.
it's good to eat at regular intervals.
Right.
That's one of the things I discovered when I started this journey. And it's not really a journey that started today, it's a journey that started a long, long time ago.
Okay.
Sometimes it works, and sometimes I get stuck. I can't lose weight anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to think, you know, and I have to think outside the box and start something else. So it's not really one program. Like the book I'm trying to write, or the book is not about one particular diet. It's about how you eat. It's first of all, it's about a lifestyle, changing
Right.
your lifestyle,
Your lifestyle.
and it's about eating a variety of stuff, because sometimes you can go on a high protein diet, and for 2 weeks it works. It takes off the number of kgs that you don't want,
Yeah.
and then your body gets stuck, because our bodies are like, how can I say, they get, it's like when you're telling your brain,
Mm-hmm.
I have to I'm being deprived. So the brain gets used to being deprived, and the brain stops processing, burning fat. So you get to
Right.
that point where you stop, and then you need to change your diet.
Mm-hmm.
You need to, if you are on a high protein diet, maybe you need maybe more fruits and veggies.
Mm-hmm.
You can like do a smoothie or a fruit cleanse. And then once you notice that you're not burning the calories, you need to change. So it's
Right.
not something static. And that's why it's fun, because at the end of the day, you find yourself eating lots of things that you crave for, because generally I always advocate for a cheat day or two. I have
Right.
never been on a diet without cheating. If I tell you that, then that would be a
Yeah.
lie. You
Right.
must have a cheat day
You need
when
a
you
special
want
treat.
to,
Yeah, that's right.
exactly, when you
Mm-hmm.
want to grab a bowl of ice cream, you
True.
know, where you want to eat, I don't know, whatever, like our local meals, fufu and eru. So it's
Probably just
it's
a
it's
little bit of
really,
fufu and a little bit more arrow, although the arrow has too much oil. But anyway, it's a cheat day, so who cares?
it's a cheat day. Who cares? But trust
Right.
me, if you've been in the process, right? If you've been doing it for over a long period of time, on your cheat day, you wouldn't eat all
Won't
of
matter.
what you used to eat. No, you wouldn't
Right.
even eat all what you used
Okay.
to eat because
Okay.
your body also adapts to the changes. Remember, your
True.
body is not just there. Your body is not static. Your body is moving, is changing with what you give it. So if you give it more food, the body says, okay, I'm
Right.
going to be processing this in this way. And if you
Right.
starve your body, the body says, okay, now that I'm being starved, I'm going to withhold, or I'm going to reserve all these fats maybe for later. So
True.
that's why it's not a one size fit all. It's interesting because you have to keep changing. Maybe after 2 weeks, you have to change your diet. It's not really good. It's not really advisable to
So
stick
it
to
keeps
one diet for.
surprising your body somehow.
Of course, because if not,
Yeah.
you get stuck somewhere and you can't really lose weight and you can't stay fit,
Right.
you know.
So
Mitch,
you're just like, hi, Mitch. So you just start changing every now and then, making sure that your body doesn't get too used to a particular kind of diet. And then you start, fluctuating it, changing it, trying to understand your body yourself. Because, like you said, it's not a one size fit all. You have to be able to adapt. So thank you so much for the advice you're giving. We just have a question here from Cheryl Tatabandasi in Munich, Germany. A general diet advice for a healthy and active person. So, what should my day look like when I wake up in the morning?
first things first, you need to know that you need to drink as much water as possible, 8 glasses minimum. If you can drink more, that's fine. Upon rising, a glass of water. If it's warm, it's ideal. And then you need to have your 5 portions of fruits and vegetables daily. And then I believe in the food pyramid. You need to eat your breakfast like a king, as is often said, right? You
Right,
you eat well, and then for lunch you reduce your portions, and then your dinner should be really, really small. If you do
okay,
that, it's also kind of another way of helping your body to stay in shape. But there are lots of things, Mira. There are lots of things that we feed our bodies, which are really not advisable. All those labels that you see, the low sugars, the low fat, never fall for those. If you get any all these brands, you see
hmm,
things like how do they call them, low fat whatever, I don't know.
like
There
you
are
don't
so
you don't
many.
believe all the things that are on the labels, right?
Well, the truth is it's all a marketing strategy. It's all about marketing, right?
Hmm, hmm,
And so if you want to eat well, and if you want your body to heal, especially if you want to look, let's say if you want to look 20 at 40, you
right,
have to you have to ensure that you eat right. And by eating right is by watching all the things that you put in your mouth, because you have to eat foods that are rich in fibers. You have to eat foods that have color. All the colored foods are good. And you have to reduce your oil intake and your carbohydrate intake. Now, depending on your lifestyle, if you have an active lifestyle, you definitely need to energy. So I might have something else for you. So it's like I was saying from the beginning, it's all about your lifestyle, but
right,
generally high fiber fruits, veggies are what you need to get. And then if you're like on a smoothie diet, always try to get the products from a farm.
right,
Don't go to a supermarket where maybe the things have been produced using fertilizers and all those, because it's going to create another issue. You might be losing weight, you might achieve your desired weight, but
right.
then you might be creating another health problem for yourself. So it's
Exactly.
it's it's a little bit complex, and it's time consuming.
Right. And what you focus on is healthy eating, not the dieting part of it, but more the healthy eating. You're making sure we maintain the nutrients which are good for our body. You're making sure that we consciously understand our own bodies to be able to align with a particular type of diet. Now, thinking about something else which Mape just mentioned in the comment section as a question, what about our African meals? Our eating cultures must adapt to the present times. Quite often, Africans eat to fill the stomach, not to enrich the body. What do you say about that?
Well, it's a sad reality. It's a sad reality, and at times like this, when people are confined, they're just going to eat what they have. Believe me, even if I stand here and tell people not to, eat this, eat that, they are just going to eat what they have because that's what they can afford. But
Right.
generally, we have in our markets, we have very affordable fruits like
Mm-hmm.
bananas. You know that you can go on 8 bananas a day, 8 bananas with water and yogurt, and you
Okay.
lose a kilogram. Those
In
are
how
some
long?
tiny
You lose a kilogram
nutrients.
in how long? In a week? In two
No,
weeks?
in
Or
no, 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 in a day. In a
oh,
day.
okay.
Yeah. If you say, okay, I'm going to go on a fast, I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
eat 8 bananas because you
Mm-hmm.
need the energy, you need the vitamins, you
Mm-hmm.
need, the minerals, and you get yogurt, not the low fat yogurt, just
Right.
normal,
Normal
ordinary
yogurt.
yogurt,
Mm-hmm.
natural yogurt, and your bananas. It can actually help your body to lose weight. I'm saying this because I've done it once and it has worked. And I've
Mm-hmm.
done it at a time when I wasn't losing weight anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I was so, bent on losing weight. And I got to a point where I got stuck, and I
Mm-hmm.
started reading and reading and reading books just to understand how the human body metabolizes
Mm-hmm.
fats and all what we eat. So there are
Right.
lots of things that we need to stay off
Mm-hmm.
that can help us. But like I was saying, for an African who does not have all the resources to get maybe apples or other fruits, there are very, very affordable fruits in the market. I use the example of a banana because that's really one of the most affordable
Fruits.
fruits. And then we also have mangoes. A
Okay.
typical person given a guide on dieting will tell you do not eat mangoes, do not eat bananas because they have a very high calorific value. But
Mm-hmm.
then, if that's what you're going to eat, for the entire day, with yogurt, with natural yogurt, it hasn't got any problem.
So drinking
Providing
a
you're
lot,
feeding your
eating.
body,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, drinking lots of water, eating lots of fruits and vegetables. And then we have lots of vegetables out there, you know. We have lots of vegetables out there.
Okay.
And then Sherry is talking about portions. Yeah, that's what I was I started talking about. Hmm.
So you want to watch your portion size. And then there's Goretti who says, I think if we carried out some research on our African meals and how they are cooked, I believe we could come up with great meal plans that can directly address weight loss and healthy eating.
Yeah, like I said, right? There are so many ways. For example, if you want to eat eru and enjoy it, you can still do it
Mm-hmm.
without the amount of oil that people usually put in it. You can still maybe substitute your gari for I don't know, for maybe coconut. There's this coconut fufu
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
most people that are on keto diet use, or fufu that's made out of almond. So there are other substitutes that are really good. I'm not really here to talk about a particular type of diet, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm just talking about the healthy ways of eating. you know and as Goretti says,
Mm-hmm.
there we have lots of how can I say, rich food stuff that we need to benefit from.
Right.
And it's not just about avoiding them altogether. It's
Mm-hmm.
about, first of all, reducing those portions, like I said, getting
Mm-hmm.
your body to adapt to the changes that are going to come.
Right.
Not waiting to, let's say, start going like half. No, you can't just move from one big lump to half of it. It doesn't work because you're going
Right.
to fall back. So it's
So
always good
gradually.
to do it gradually so that your body adapts to this new way of life, and then it will obviously become like your way of life.
Right. And apropos way of life, currently with the world having this pandemic, the COVID-19 is impacting a lot of us. We have to stay home, etc. But it is affecting so many sectors in life. Hello, Mage. Hello, sweet little boy. For
Hello.
example, children have to stay home. Right. So I was asking, what is the impact of the COVID-19 now? The fact that it's affecting the world on the food provision, one, and the prices, two. What is your experience? You mentioned you go out sometimes to the grocery stores. So how is this novel virus affecting many sectors?
Wow. Generally, the rule of demand and supply always prevails, right? So when this pandemic was, when it became evident that Cameroon had cases,
Mhm.
the next day in our markets, all the basic food you normally find disappeared.
Oh dear.
So people started panic buying.
Yeah.
People started,
Hello, Mitch. I hear you.
shopping, and
Mhm.
I don't know. That's just something that happens all over the world, I guess. Maybe it doesn't happen in Germany, but in Cameroon and in
Mhm.
other African countries, I guess it's the same thing. People
Oh,
either
well, in
panic
Germany,
buy.
we have our own stories. Just carry on with yours.
Yeah. So people bought maybe everything from the market, and so the prices went up. A bowl of ginger that I'll get for 1,000 francs, 2 days after the lockdown, it was already at 2,000 francs.
Ooh, so they inflated the prices then.
They inflated the prices. Not only did they inflate the prices, there was a scarcity in the markets. You go to the market as early as maybe 8 o'clock, you wouldn't find anything you need because people have
Ooh,
come at 5 a.m. to buy and maybe take to their corner stores or to stock them. I
right.
don't know. So that's just, it's crazy. It's crazy, but it's affecting us very negatively, and we really do not understand that it's really something that you know
Hmm.
we are not
So,
supposed to try to benefit from.
they've inflated the price, although they already had this stock at home. Not like they bought it expensive. And on the other hand, the people also who go before you, they finish off, food stuff for the others because everybody's trying to buy as much as possible to stuff. In Germany and other parts of the Western world, I'll tell you, what was gone was toilet tissue. Like you went to the stores, you couldn't get toilet paper. But then, luckily enough for us, I would say for our home, we had bought the week before everything got so critical. But then I had my sister in Berlin go from one shop to the other and send up pictures of empty shelves. So there was a general scare as a result of the virus. Now, talking about the virus, how are people perceiving the current state in Cameroon? Just like you're staying home, is everyone else able to stay home or are they living their normal lives?
No, I can't say people are living their normal lives. Maybe in other cities, but I'm going to talk about Douala. In Douala, I
Okay.
think increasingly people are understanding that it's not a game, because
Mm-hmm.
initially people thought it was a hoax, but slowly they're understanding that it's not a game. And
Mm-hmm.
if you walk along the streets now, you find people moving about with their masks on,
Mm-hmm.
and then you find, first of all, traffic has been reduced drastically. You don't
Okay.
really find cars, you don't find bikes, everybody's, I mean, gradually people are getting off the streets. People are getting
Okay.
off the streets. So I believe
So
it's going to take some time, but we are going to get there. you
Okay,
know.
what we noticed, what we heard at least is that, Goretti says so. What we heard at least is that at first, when people in Cameroon, I'll take Douala and Boya and Yaoundé, where we've run some interviews, they heard
Mm.
about it and they didn't really believe that there was this virus, that it existed. And everybody, some said it was just a foreign virus, but now people are conscious of the fact that the coronavirus is real, it's there, and you should stay home. So thank you for that. Goretti also confirms what you just said. She said that's so true. I'm looking at the lockdown period. We're talking about healthy eating. What is something people should avoid eating? Any food stuff you should avoid eating during this lockdown period?
Well, Mira, like I said before, right? People have
Yeah.
the right to cheat, and not
Okay.
everybody is on a diet. So I'd rather talk about what people should eat. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's true that vitamin C helps a lot. So people
Mm-hmm.
should have lots of fruits. We have oranges, we have lemons, we have limes. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I'd rather talk about what people should get rather than talk about what people should not get,
Shouldn't
because
get. You're right.
yeah, because you can't really say, but if you're not really having let's say you're not really up and about, you're not moving up and down, you
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't want something that will make you put on weight. So
Sure.
you'd want to eat eat right, not really
Mm-hmm.
be on a diet, but eat right.
Mm-hmm.
Start by drinking lots of water or
Right.
lots
Like
of
you already
fluid,
said.
like I
Yeah.
already said.
Mm-hmm.
Eat your
Mm-hmm.
vegetables and eat your
Mm-hmm.
fruits. Eat your fruits before your meals, maybe 30 minutes before your meals.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have to drink water before your meals, 30
Right.
minutes or 1 hour before your meals, and then
Mm-hmm.
1 hour later.
Right.
But for those who want to really lose weight, for those who want to come out of this strong, and those who are interested in losing weight, that's
Mm-hmm.
something else that we need to discuss about, because not everyone is interested in losing weight, but I believe most people do not want to put on weight. But eating right is going to help them. Eating
Mm-hmm.
the right kind of food is going to help them, like eating lots of fibers, foods that are rich in fibers,
Mm-hmm.
foods that will help your digestive system to keep moving. Because if you don't, your digestive system is clogged, then you wouldn't be able to eliminate the waste. So you need to
Right.
get the fibers through vegetable and eating. If you have to prepare your regular ndole, maybe rather than eating it with ripe plantains, I'd rather go for unripe plantains, you know, rather than eating too much oil in your
Mm-hmm.
eru. You better reduce the amount of oil in your eru, because we might as well have a scarcity of oil in the coming days.
Chris actually mentions, now you mentioned oil. Crystal Can from Douala says, talking about limes, Juliet, the prices in the market at the moment are cutthroat. So you see a lot of things are more expensive than they normally were. So if you're mentioning oil, Crystal is mentioning lime because you mentioned vitamin C, right? The vitamins are important. C is very important. So oranges and lemon, I can imagine, are very, very expensive in markets as we speak. Now, Julia, this takes me when you talk about expensive, not everybody will be able to afford the same kind of food stuff. If a low income Cameroonian wants to survive this lockdown, what would you advise some main things? What are some of the things they should buy and keep at home? Now, don't tell me Gary and sugar. What else can people buy during this period of the lockdown
Well, we
for a
have
low income person?
for low income persons, we have lots of nuts. We have our peanuts. They can get like groundnuts.
Okay.
You can get even maize. Maize is good. You can boil. You can fry.
Mhm.
You know, we have what are some of those foods? Arrow keeps popping into. I keep thinking
Here,
about it.
yeah.
I guess
Mhm.
it's because it's been long that I haven't had it. And Bulgari is really not a good, option. You rather buy cassava,
Okay.
get unprocessed, what is unprocessed. than something that has been processed. It's true that the one that has been processed is going to last long, but for somebody who is really, really low income, I think we have lots of nuts, we have lots of fruits. We
So the
have
nuts. Mhm.
we have the pear. This is the avocado. We have
Right.
lots
Yeah.
of that in the market. We have onions. You can just get up and do an onion salad with avocado and just a bit of oil, and you sprinkle maybe vinegar if you have
Hmm.
it, you know. So there are really options out there, things that can keep your metabolism going, because you don't want to have a clogged system at the end of this
No.
lockdown.
No. At the end of the lockdown, no, you don't want that. Now, you mentioned the metabolism, very important. And then I'm thinking the immune system. What do you do, Ju, in order to strengthen your immune system? Apart from eating healthy, what else do you recommend when it comes to the immune system?
I recommend, interestingly, I'm having a cup of, of this tea.
Good.
It's got cloves, clou de giraud, clove. It's got lime, and it's got ginger.
Good.
Even though the prices of ginger, I can say the price has gone up, but
Hmm.
you can just get a handful of ginger. You
Hmm.
cut, chop it up, and put it in a cup. You get your lime,
Hmm.
you get your cloves,
Hmm.
because we are talking about a flu, right? And we
Yes.
want to keep. So this concoction, I didn't get it from anybody. It's just something that I came up with myself. I've been drinking it for a while. It could be strong, it could be hard sometimes, but it's a good drink. So you can drink it throughout the day. This can actually help you to drink water, because
Hmm.
to tell someone that drink 8 glasses of water a day is not easy. But if
True.
you convert it to teas and homemade teas or homemade potions like this, it's going to help you. Trust me. And then we have other herbs. We have um, what we call moringa.
Moringa.
I believe,
Okay.
yeah, we have lots of that. It's good as well. It's very good for the immune system.
Right.
And we have garlic, we have honey.
Hmm.
So I do this. I don't put anything, I don't sweeten it, but we have, oh, we have lots of herbs that are available. And trust me, you just want to get something that you're used to. You don't want to take something that you're not really used to, that can create other problems. So, but this concoction is very easy and affordable for anybody, and you know, it's
Right.
easy to keep your body hydrated.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm. Okay, Juice connection just went off, ladies and gentlemen. At this moment, I'll just see if she'll reconnect. We've been having 7 p.m. every day here in Germany, a guest from across the world. We've been looking at very many different sectors and talking to people who, in their own way, are impacting the community, ensuring that people know more about the COVID-19. We're just talking about how to strengthen the immune system. And you, Cheryl, you suggested turmeric is also a good thing to add in the teas, like Juliet was saying. While Christelle, that was Cheryl in Germany, while Christelle in Cameroon says, how about the local fever grass and masepo? Okay, I don't know what masepo is, Chris, but of course I'll look it up. So again, that is another healthy way of, combining the lockdown period with healthy eating. We're talking about ensuring that we strengthen the immune system by eating healthy, drinking healthy, exercising a lot. So there's another thing Cheryl adds there. Cheryl says, what about the guava leaves? Okay, I'm going to ask Juliet when she gets back on the live stream. Hey, Julie, you're back. Cheryl was just
mm,
asking to know, what about guava leaves? Can we drink guava leaves? Okay, I don't have guava leaves here, but is it healthy?
Personally, I've never drank guava leaves. I remember when the first time I went on a diet, my mom actually sent me to see a nutritionist.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the famous Mrs. Ndi, Nathan's mom.
Nasa's mom, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. She prescribed something, but it wasn't for drinking. We had guava leaves, we had masapo, we had lime, lemon.
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to like cover up myself, boil it, put it in a big pot, all those leaves in a big pot,
Mm-hmm.
cover up yourself and sweat it out. So,
Right.
according to her, she said it was going to help me to eliminate lots of toxins from my body.
From your
So,
body, right.
I don't know about drinking guava leaves. I've never done it before. So,
Mm-hmm.
I can't
Mm-hmm.
advise someone about that. But maybe other
Okay.
people, you know, experience with that. But
Right.
from what she shared with me at the time,
Mm-hmm.
it's a therapy for somebody who has a sedentary lifestyle, who does not
Mm-hmm.
really like to exercise. It will help you to sweat it out a lot and to eliminate the toxins that are
The
in your
toxins, right.
Mhm.
Okay, then we have another question now from Patience Gwekala Tanga. She says, many supposedly rich parents have the tendency to overfeed their children for reasons God alone knows that most often leads to obesity. Could you please give some advice on that?
Well, I believe that if you want to, let's say, give advice on how to how parents should,
Right.
feed their children, it's quite difficult because what we can do is just to tell them the dangers of what they are doing. Excess sugars, excesses of maybe proteins, cheese, excesses are not good generally. Just give them everything in moderation. Be it yogurt, and just go for the natural ones. Don't
The
try to give
natural
your
yogurt.
child the yogurt that I don't know that has been, I don't know. Just
Over
try to
processed, too
feed them the
sweet, and so
over
on.
processed
Mm-hmm.
over
Too sweet.
processed food,
Mm-hmm.
canned food. Avoid all
Mm-hmm.
those canned foods.
Okay.
Avoid the sausages. You know, you can
Mm-hmm.
actually give them things that are really, really, really natural. Because
Mm-hmm.
when you start teaching your child to take those things at the tender age, they grow up with it. Like, I was talking to my sister yesterday, Barbara, who is in
Right.
Germany. She just told me that
Mm-hmm.
because they were fasting during Lent, her daughter has decided to give up beef. Her daughter
Okay.
says no more beef, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's like when you do it as parents, when you do that as parents, the children copy and
They
they
copy
want to
from
be
you,
like
yes.
you. They copy from
Mm-hmm.
you and they
Mm-hmm.
want to be
Mm-hmm.
like you. And if they see their mom maybe losing weight, staying fit, their mom looking like healthy, really looking,
Exactly.
you know, it encourages them. So I wouldn't advise parents to keep giving their children all these candies, all this, because it's truly a no-no.
Right. So they will see what you eat and you say they will emulate you. So whatever you eat, they get used to it. You know, if you have sliced paprika or carrots and you keep nibbling on it, the children will tend to follow, copy your own example as well. So it's not tell them to eat this while you are eating chocolate, etc. So they'll be following and copying from you. We get that. And Christelle also confirms, she says now that they're at home, it's easy for them to just leave the living room and go to the refrigerator to get food to eat. So you have to be, as a good parent, able to watch what they eat, make sure their snacks are healthy. And most often, children soak like just like sponges. They soak whatever information you give them. So if you eat the carrot, like you mentioned, Ju, if you eat the fresh fruits, then they will tend to also eat the fresh fruit. Now we've talked a lot about the period during which we have the pandemic. I'm looking at after the crisis. Now, after the crisis, if we have been eating not as healthy as we should, what would you advise for the time thereafter? How do we carry on from there after a poor nutrition? How do you take it from there after the crisis?
So after the crisis, it just depends on the individual. People are putting on weight without it necessarily posing any health threat to them. So
Mhm.
they might not see it as a problem. But for anybody who really wants, who sees it as a problem, it
Yeah.
will be advisable to kind of do like a cleanse.
Mm-hmm.
And by a cleanse, I mean there are so many different therapies out there. There's what is usually called the master cleanse.
Right.
It's a concoction made up of cayenne pepper,
Okay.
lemon, and maple syrup. You can actually
Okay.
do a cleanse after this crisis, because for those who might have maybe eating things that are really not good for their systems, that have
Mhm.
helped them to gain weight, they might want to. It might be a time for them to want to cleanse their systems. So there are different types of cleanses. There are cleanses for your liver, for your kidneys, for, I don't know about any cleanse for the lungs, but for other internal organs, there are cleanses that people can do. But the general or the easy one is the master cleanse, because
Right.
maple syrup available, cayenne pepper is available, and then we have lemon. So you just
Okay.
have to take one lemon, you extract the juice from it, you put it in a liter, sorry, 1.5 liter of water. You take a
Mhm.
teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and then a tablespoon, no, sorry, not a tablespoon, 5 tablespoons of maple syrup into
Okay.
1.5 liters, and you drink it all day. So this cleanse helps you to not only lose weight, but it flushes out all the toxins from your system. And you can also do the guava leaves, you
Mhm.
know, the lemongrass, those herbs, masepo. You can
Mhm.
also cover yourself up, boil it in a pot. You cover
Mhm.
yourself up just to help, to cleanse your system, because without a cleanse, it'll be difficult for some people. People might end
Right.
up developing other illnesses that they wouldn't want to have.
So what people should focus on after the lockdown period is the cleansing, right? Just to ensure that somehow whatever it is I've been eating, I'm taking a new step again, because I can imagine, like you said, not everybody is going through a diet. You're already in a lockdown, a period which has a lot of pressure, then you go again having a diet that might be too much for people at the moment. So after that, you recommend a cleansing of the system before you carry on with your diet or healthy eating. We'll put that. But let's talk about your manuscript, Juliet. You wrote a manuscript, a guide to dieting. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Mira. Okay. Well, I wrote this because when I left high school, you knew me very well at that time. I was very bulky and I was overweight. When I got home, my mom looked at me and she said, "What is going on?" I said, "I don't see any problem with myself." And she said, "Okay, look at your feet. Your feet are swelling." And so that's how I got into this. And that's why I took note. I noticed that my feet were actually swelling, but I hadn't taken note of that. So it got me into thinking. She actually forced me to see a dietitian who
Mhm.
prescribed me a diet, and I had somebody to prepare all the meals for me every day, but I
Right.
would cheat and cheat and cheat. So at one point, when I was getting to the university, I told myself I can't keep doing this. I can't, it's my body I'm hurting. It's not somebody else. It's not because my mom wants me to be slim that I have to be slim.
Mhm.
It's because I might have other health issues, because my feet were actually swelling, you know,
Mhm.
and I had to release the excess fluid from my body. So that's why I got into doing lots of research. First of all, at the university, I studied botany, but it wasn't sufficient, anyways. I studied
Mhm.
botany, but I read lots of books on how to lose weight, and I
Right.
stumbled on the first diet that worked for me. And when I did it for like 2 weeks, my friends
Mm-hmm.
were like, wow, what did you do? Like
What did
after
you do?
two
Yeah.
weeks, I had lost 9 kilograms. And
Wow.
everybody was like, what did you do? And I said, okay, I did the Atkins diet. And they started
Atkins diet.
asking questions. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
what is this diet all about? And I told them it was a very interesting diet because you have to eat a lot of steak, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
grilled chicken, grilled fish during the Atkins diet. So it was
Right.
very interesting for me. And it was based on drinking black coffee.
Oh.
And I love the aroma of coffee. So I didn't have any problem doing that diet. But then when I did it and people kept on asking questions about what I did, it kind
Mm-hmm.
of motivated me. I I subsequently became a coach,
Mm-hmm.
coach without portfolio. Just from my experience, I started sharing my story with people. I started telling people this is what I did, this is what I did, this is what I did. And after losing the 9 kgs,
Right.
trust me, I didn't lose weight anymore. So I started doing
Okay.
exercise. I
Mm-hmm.
did
Mm-hmm.
lots of exercises. I lost a little bit of weight and I
Mm-hmm.
got stuck, you know. So I said, what can I do? And I
Right.
stumbled on another diet. It's called the cabbage soup.
The cabbage soup.
Yeah, cabbage soup diet, Mira.
Mm-hmm.
It is tasteless, but trust me, if you want to do away with if you want to do away with belly fats, you've got
Mm-hmm.
to do it. For people who have, generally I don't like to put on a dress and then my tummy is
Having a
protruding.
roll.
So
Yeah.
I said
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely going to go for this diet. I went for it and it worked, and
Wow. Mm-hmm.
so that's what made me I said, why not write this story? Because there are so many people out there. Yeah, you see beautiful women who, get into a building and they have
Mm-hmm.
a protruding stomach. And when you find out if they're pregnant, they are not pregnant. It's just, fat. And
Or you just go like,
I'm like,
congratulations. And they're like, no, I'm not
exactly. And they're like, no, I'm not pregnant.
pregnant. Like, I'm not pregnant.
Exactly.
Very
So that's when
embarrassing.
I
Yeah.
said, okay, let me just write all this down so that
Mm-hmm.
in case I don't have the chance to meet each of these individuals, I can
Mm-hmm.
actually publish this book that will help Cameroonians at the time. Remember, this was like in 2005, 2006.
Right.
So it took this COVID outbreak for me to actually put that manuscript to type it out into my computer. So you can imagine, Mira, for how long I've been
You,
withholding such useful information. And now the information has become obsolete because we're no longer talking about all those, the Atkins diet. We're talking about keto. We're talking about the alkaline diet, you know, which is different, which has different
tell me a little
principles.
bit. Yeah, exactly. You mentioned the keto and the alkaline. Tell me a little bit, or tell us a little bit about the keto and the alkaline diet. What do they comprise? What is it all about?
Okay, the keto diet, I guess, is a diet that basically enables you to eat fats and
Mm-hmm.
proteins, maybe
Right.
vegetables as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of similar to the Atkins diet, but you don't eat, you know, you eat lots of fats, and it helps your body to go into the process of ketosis, where your body starts feeding off the fats for energy
Right. Mm-hmm.
and burning down. So, and then the alkaline diet, I think that one we just have to adopt that as a lifestyle,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but we must have a cheat day.
But what is the alkaline diet? What do you focus on when you're saying I'm on an alkaline diet? What are you actually telling people?
On an alkaline diet, you want to basically the same stuff, but you go for, if you have to eat protein, it
Mm-hmm.
must be organic, and you
Right.
stay away from you stay away from red meat. So you eat lots of maybe fish like
Fish. Okay.
mackerel, you know, or salmon, tuna.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then in the alkaline diet, you eat lots of vegetables and fruits, lots of them, and nuts as well.
Right.
And then
Right.
you don't just eat any kind of nuts, because you might think that you can just eat peanuts, you can just eat, whatever nuts you find out there. There
Right.
are some specific nuts that will render. It's actually about changing your the pH of your body, right?
Exactly.
Trying to
That's why the
get
alkaline comes in. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
trying to get your body to operate at the best, at an optimal
Yes.
pH, which should
Yes.
be around 7.
Right.
So,
Right.
and it is also alleged that our blood, or our body,
Hmm.
works best at an alkaline pH, maybe from 7 and above.
And
So
above.
generally, when you eat things like protein, like beef,
Hmm.
even if you're, let's say you're on on an on the Atkins diet, you'll be eating lots of beef, and then you'll be taking lots of coffee,
Hmm.
but on an alkaline diet, you wouldn't take lots of coffee. You wouldn't even take coffee, because coffee would render your body acidic rather
Right. So
than
your pH level will instead
basic.
go lower again. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So the
Mhm.
alkaline diet strives to help you to eat lots of fruits, and these fruits, trust me, they must be organic. You need to
Okay.
check the source, because generally people just write the labels without checking the source. What do
Right.
I mean by checking the source? Make sure that if it's grown in a farm, we it's not grown in an environment where there are fertilizers,
Hmm.
all those
Hmm.
things, because it might, like I said, there's lots of concerns about heavy metals leaching into food stuff, absorbing heavy metals from the soil, and all those kind of things.
Yeah.
So you want to get the organic fruits, the organic vegetables, and you want to eat lots of those. And then you reduce your protein intake and your fats intake. And then the fats will come from grains, or from some specific oils like avocado oil, like
Hmm.
uh, canola oil,
Hmm.
olive oil, you know. So that's basically the difference between an alkaline diet, an Atkins diet, and the keto diet.
Keto diet, right. And all of this, you've mentioned the manuscript was written in 2005 for the first time, and now you're revising it because years later things have changed. But trust me, I want to be the first to place a copy. I would like to have a copy of the book as soon as it's ready, or the manuscript as soon as it's ready. I'd like to place my copy already so I can understand the different forms of diet and the advice in it. So I'll talk to Christelle, my team in Douala, and they'll get in touch with you as soon as it's ready. I'll be the first to have a copy. Promise?
Promise, Mira, no
Great.
problem.
You're on camera. Anyways, great. So thank you so much. You've taken time to talk to us about the different types of diets, how to eat healthy, maintain a healthy eating lifestyle. You've been able to answer questions from our guests. We thank you for that. But also during the lockdown, we're encouraging people to read books. Apart from your guides to dieting, are there any books you can recommend for our viewers out there?
Hmm. Mira, that's a tough one. I have this, I'm an environmentalist, right?
Sure.
Okay, so, and in the world today, there's a lot of politics around medication, politics around, I don't know, the pharmaceutical industry and all of that.
Mhm.
So just read books on the politics of whatever subject you're interested in. For me, I'm reading this book.
Mhm.
I bought this book a few years ago, Environmental Politics. So
Okay.
it's really talking about, people's perceptions of certain things, and
Mhm.
how those perceptions are transformed, by politics,
Mhm. Mhm.
because the world needs to, let's say, the world needs to be in lockdown now. So everybody, all the heads of states need to, speak the same language, because you understand all those things. I'm not really a politician, but I try to find out why there are certain laws, especially related to my domain, which is environment. I try to find out why in certain countries it takes a long time for them to maybe ratify a certain convention, which I think is very important. Let's say the Convention on Climate Change. In some countries, some developed countries, they took a long time to ratify those kind of conventions. So those are the type of things that I read. But there's also one very good book. This book was published maybe in 2004. It's still about, um, let me just show you.
Sure, great, gladly.
Natural Cures
Okay, Natural Cures by Kevin Trudeau.
They Don't Want You to Know About.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you've read it. I don't know if
No,
you've
I
come
haven't.
across
I
it.
haven't. Trust me, I'm getting
Kevin,
more books recommended for me during these interviews, but I like to read it.
yeah, it's by Kevin Trudeau. So it's a good book. It's going to tell you how to, treat yourself or rid your body of certain diseases. It's
Right,
going to give you some basics on what to eat, what not to eat, what to believe in, and what not to believe in.
right,
I, for
right.
one, I don't use a microwave, so we have lots of things in common. I don't advocate for sweeteners, the use of sweeteners, you
Mhm,
know.
mhm.
So and we talk the same language. So I wonder if he also did environmental science. I don't know, but it's a very good book and it's going to educate you on lots of things. But basically, it tells you that you should drink lots of water,
Mhm.
and it tells you to avoid medication, because medication actually, in the long run, makes you become dependent on it, right? It's like if
Right.
you have a headache, you need to take paracetamol each time,
Mhm.
you know. So it's going to help you to avoid that dependence on certain things, and you would want to go back to mother nature for the solutions to all your problems.
And the
Be they
title of the book is Natural Cures. Is that
Yes,
Natural Cures
natural
by
cures. They
Kevin
don't
Trudeau?
want Yes, they don't want to tell you. They don't want you to know about.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really a good book. It's really educative. It's going to help you. It's going to open up your mind. Maybe by the
Mm-hmm.
time you finish reading this book, you're going to keep your microwave aside. You're
Mm-hmm.
going to abandon lots of things. You're going to stop eating all the sugar-free gum, you know,
Oh,
the
that's
low-fat
deep.
things. It's going to help
Sugar-free
you,
gum.
Mira. Yeah,
Right, right. I'll
trust
definitely
me.
get that into, like I said, my library increases every day I talk. I go on Amazon, ordering new books because a lot of the guests are also reading just like you're doing. And, as different as we are, there are many people who have insights to books which I have not come across. So there's a whole list of books which we will publish at the end of the interviews, which have been recommended by our guests. So thank you so much for recommending that. What about music? You mentioned at the beginning that you love dancing. And if I remember correctly, yes, indeed, you love dancing, Juliet. So what kind of music do you like?
Mira, I wouldn't say I have a choice. Well, when I was younger, I used to really, I used to have, specific, but right now I just love good music. I love Charlotte Dipanda, by the
Okay.
way. So, and then I love Nigerian guys. I don't want to say their names,
Okay.
you
All
know.
right.
That's why I
So you
love Nigerian music. I love Sinash. I love gospel music,
mhm,
you know.
mhm, mhm.
So I don't want to do publicity on behalf of anyone.
But
But
let's
I
think
love
about
some Charlotte Dipanda.
Saladi Panda. Yes, I remember, Ju. You are a good dancer. Don't tell our viewers anything less, right? If you've seen Julia dance, ladies and gentlemen, you wonder, right? You wonder if this is the same environment environmentalist we're talking to. You're a very good dancer. But let's talk about the current like the status of the virus, like the current statistics of the world. I don't know if you've heard about Cameroon. I'm looking at the portal here, which should give me exactly how many are infected in the world or how many have lost their lives. Do you have any idea how many are infected in Cameroon as we speak, Juliet?
The last time I checked, we were at 855, if my
Oh
memory
dear.
is.
So we're already moving up to the 1,855 is quite high. And I look at the overall statistics of the world, we are at 1,906,428 infected. Total deaths are at 118,472. I am reading this from the correct stand on the worldometer.info. USA is still at first position, Spain second, Italy third, France fourth, and Germany is at the fifth position with 121 sorry, I beg your pardon, 128,000 infected and 3,038 deaths. So as we see, we've not yet reached the peak and we hope to reach the peak soon so we can start going down. It's rather unfortunate that we have to be in this lockdown, but we're using the time as much as possible so we come out of it productive with books we've read, with exercising, talking to each other, just like with our guests across the world, Juliet. I would give you a couple of minutes to give your message to the world. But if you bear with me, we have had some very brilliant guests in the past, and I would like to share my screen with everyone, you and I, Juliet, so we see who else has been on the show with us, just to kind of thank them for making these first 2 weeks so memorable for us. So if you bear with me, we'll just go through the list here. So we have the guest here. Barista Agbokomo, thank you for being on the show. Christian Gang, thank you for coming. And then Dr. Gisela Moisil, Germany, thank you for coming. Dr. Ken Stevens Boya, thank you for coming. Divine Winter, Germany and France, thank you. Dr. TJ from Mambo, we want to thank you so much for coming. Alice Michelle, Italy, you were our guest as well. Eric Vanna, thank you for coming. Irene Asanji, equally, we are grateful. Then there was Melanie Wabo in Douala, the wedding planner. 13-year-old Lionel Dassi, thank you for coming. Francoise Com, Luxembourg, thank you for coming. Marie-Angèle Banga, Douala. And then Patience Atanga, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. Yesterday we had Mame Denta, and today we have Juliet with us. So it is thanks to you all that we're able to have this program running the way it's running. If you have a program, Ju, and there are no amazing guests, you can just be on your own. But the fact that you all have been joining the live sessions, on behalf of my team and I, we want to thank all the guests who have been here. It's been 2 amazing weeks. We carry on tomorrow with Asheri in Canada. On Wednesday, we'll be in London with Goretti. And then on Thursday, we'll be in Copenhagen with Gabrielle. Friday, we'll be meeting the young Cameroonian Are Bate. Saturday, we'll have Roland Kwemen. Sunday, we'll have Dr. Bianda Pabdo and Taneka Durans. So it's a lineup of amazing guests. To wrap up, Juliet, we would love you to give your message to the world, something which is on your heart, something which you want to share with the world as we undergo this current crisis. So you just have about 2-3 minutes to address the viewers.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank you, Mira, for this opportunity. And I'd like to say that eating right at this time is not supposed to be something that you have to think about. You just have to do it because it's going to help your immune system to be able to fight against whatever comes its way. So go online. There are lots of information concerning how to eat right, concerning how to keep your immune system in top form. So basically, just eat right, stay safe. If you have to go out, put on your mask, and don't forget, wash those hands. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Yeah, don't forget to wash those hands. Juliet says if you have to go out, put on your mask, eat healthy. Eat healthy. This is the moment, not the moment to start saying, I'm on a strict diet, but think more about how healthy you're eating. Watch this video, share with your friends, talk to your friends, and listen to what Juliet has given us advice when it comes to healthy eating. I want to thank everyone out there who has been contributing, asking questions, giving ideas during today's live show. Thank you all so much for joining every evening. And of course, it is my pleasure having you, and I want to thank you as well for all the useful tips. Keep my copy of the a guide to dieting on dieting by you, and I'll be sending my team to pick it up as soon as it's ready.
Okay. Thank you, Mira.
Yeah, I'm actually planning to play some good music for you, so we wrap up with some good music. And this is entitled Wash by Techno Miles. And I'll just leave you with some beautiful music there.
Okay.
There we go. Let me know if you can hear it.
Of course I can. And I love it.
That is what I see when I look at you. You're my fantasy, you're my baby.
Me? Yeah, bye bye. Okay. Bye bye.
Thank you all for tuning in. See you tomorrow, same time. I want to send a lot of appreciation to my team, the amazing dream team working behind the scenes so we can have amazing, amazing episodes. We're working so hard to get Motsi Mabuza here on a live video and interview, and we're working very hard as well to get Aisha Sese on an interview. So keep working hard, keep watching us. We have lots of surprises for you. My name is Miranda OBEN, as you already know. Stay well, take care of your families, lots of love from me, and bye bye.